When it comes to reviewing moveset suggestions in Jujutsu Shenanigans, there's a lot to talk about because they're made up of 8 different moves and passives that can all have a lot to discuss depending on how creatively they're made. This Shinjuku Yuji suggestion I found definitely falls under the category of being decently creative, with there being some stuff to talk about. Now, the chances of this being added to the game is next to 0, because of how Z probably wouldn't want to add in a different version of an already existing character. However, it's still an interesting suggestion to talk about, especially with the cool sketches that the author made in creating their suggestion that help us visualize what they want. There's some flaws with the suggestion, specifically with the awakening, but I find it generally cool. Before we start reading this suggestion though, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for even more commentary on Jujutsu Shenanigans. Now, let's get into the video. The first move on the base moveset is Cursed Combo, doing 2 jabs into an uppercut, sending the target up into the air, and pressing R after this will have you dash into the air to follow up with 3 kicks. Now, unless there's any kind of downside to using this, I don't see why you wouldn't want to do the follow-up. It's not clear if this is a combo extender or an ender, but my guess is that it's an extender just from the triple kick, because the triple kick on Hanami didn't actually do any knockback or anything, so my guess is that this is intended to be a combo extender. Or it couldn't be because Bloodburst, the second move, is a combo extender as well, and most games don't have characters with 2 combo extenders. This move would grab a player, spit button to their face, and combo extend. This would make half of the target's screen red and do damage over time. That making half of the target's screen red thing reminds me of a certain move from another game, I think it was End the Jojo game, where you blind half their screen. And I actually like this concept, debuffing the opponent and combo extending, but my main concern with this is, since it's a combo extender, I don't know exactly how much value you're going to get out of that blind, because it's a debuff that affects how they play, but when they're in a combo, they don't even get to play the game, so it seems like a bit of a kind of just tacked on there if it's a combo extender. I think it might be better as a combo ender, just since you get more value out of that blinding effect, since the opponent is playing the game for longer, but I don't know. I think it would be better and more suited as a combo ender, because these kind of debuffs are mostly effective only when your opponent gets to play the game, and if the opponent is in a combo, they're not getting to play the game. It's that simple. Their 3 move is a dive kick. You dive and roll a medium distance to do a drop kick, which can do a black flash if you time it right. I kind of like this concept. Fits into Rushdown playstyle for sure because of how you're doing a medium distance roll, and for Yuji specifically, I think this would actually work really well. My only concern is comboing it, since this is like making you move a certain distance, unlike all of the other moves in the game where they're just like grabs that will basically hit at close range. This will make you move and do a hitbox at the end of the attack, which seems like it could be pretty weird, but I'm sure that you can just do something like 4M1s into this move to actually land it, so I don't think there should be that much concern. Seems like it'd be good for neutral rushdowning and just good as a combo ender as well. 4th move and the final one for the base is Blitz, and this makes the user go into a stance that counters attacks by teleporting behind them and hitting them with a divergent fist or a black flash if you time it right. Honestly, this seems just like a Manji kick reskin with a cooler detail added by the black flash. I guess I'm okay with this, but I honestly don't like it all that much because I'm just a little bit tired of counters. Sure, it fits, and if this is like another Yuji moveset, then the Z can always just reskin like the counters that already exist and some other stuff, so it's not a bad thing per se. I'm tired of counters personally. Moving on to the Awakening moveset, this one is kind of lazy, but not that one lazy. The first move is a Black Flash. It's a reskin of Yuji's first, like, normal Yuji, the one we have right now. It's a reskin of his third move, Finisher. And if this is just that move on, like, with higher damage, it's kind of not an Awakening move. Because the thing about a lot of Awakening moves is that they help you rush down and basically buff your own, like, they're really tough to avoid. Something like this that is only really landable in a combo doesn't really fit that mold, if I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, it's not a bad idea per se, but one, it's just a lazy reskin, and two, it doesn't really fit how Awakenings are in this game right now, where they have all this range and are just really tough to avoid generally. Second move is Unfazed. You throw at a player to dash forward and follow up with a back flash. This seems very similar to the first move too. I don't see what the difference is. That's my main criticism. Where is the difference between this move and the first move? Because both of them are a close ranged move that presumably bypass block and knock the opponent away. What's the difference? If there's two reskins of the same type of move in a moveset, then there's no real point to it. But there's not really a lot of point in ranting about that either, so let's just move on to the third move, which is Piercing Blood. I think that's cool. It's a ranged projectile, or maybe not even a projectile, it might even just be a hit scan. I like this idea, because it would work as an Awakening move. If someone's too far, you can use this to basically stop them in their tracks, or just get some damage, but if I'm being honest, what we see so far here really seems more like a base moveset than an Awakening moveset. Because Piercing Blood, I mean, it's not bad per se, but just a projectile, like not even a combo extender on it for an Awakening, it doesn't even play off of his moveset right now. So if it doesn't combo extend, then that means if it doesn't combo start, it doesn't let you land your Black Flash and your 1 and your 2 moves here in this moveset. So I don't see, it doesn't really build off of what his Awakening already has. And that's my problem with it. Like, these first 3 moves don't feel like an Awakening. Final 4 move, you grab and cleave off a player's arm, temporarily disabling, taking away their arm and making them bleed. I have a problem with this too. 1, 2, and 4 are all close-ranged grab moves, which don't fit for an Awakening because normally in your Awakening, you have strong moves that are really difficult to avoid. Take Gojo's entire moveset, where it's a bunch of high AoE guard breaks that are very difficult to avoid because you can't block them and have to manually dodge them. And then even take Sukuna, who gets M1 passives that let him grab combo start on the opponent from a high distance. These just don't fit for an Awakening moveset. That's my main problem with this. Moving on to the final thing, which is his gimmicks. His R in base will, or just seems like an R in general, will make the opponent go into a karate stance, and pressing any move will have you jump over a player and then perform the move. Pressing R before the move lands will make it faint, keeping the move off cooldown. So it's either a reskin of Yuji's normal passive right now, or it seems to turn your move into a combo starter? I'm not exactly sure how that works. It's a confusing passive for sure, but it seems to just make any of his moves much better for rushdowning because you can use them and then they'll automatically just jump onto the opponent, which seems iffy on how you're going to avoid them. But if it converts the move into a non-guard break, then making all of them blockable, then I think it could work there. The other passive is that you Black Flash counter M1. So landing a counter M1 creates small sparks of Black Flash, which grant counter damage, but also grant the player with more movement speed and increased dash distance. So basically, Yuji wants to interrupt other players' M1s. I feel like this is the kind of passive that Untitled boxing game players are going to absolutely adore, because of, it's a counter, of course. I think it's a fun passive. I like this idea a lot. Though I think it's the only character in the game so far to have a base passive. I don't know about any other characters that have a passive just from their base moveset. Besides, some characters having less HP than others, which is less of a passive and more so just basic stats. But I like the idea here. It rewards you for countering someone, which is cool, honestly. Rewarding players for good precision is honestly a good mechanic that I like. And finally, the Awakening passive, which, if you chain Black Flashes, every M1 has a 40% chance of being a Black Flash counter, which does 1.5 times the normal M1 counter damage. I hate this. I honestly hate this. I'm going to be really honest. I don't like this because it's RNG based. RNG in fighting games just generally sucks, if I'm being honest, because it's out of the player's control. Like, you're letting fate decide how well you do in a fight, which just is very much not fun to deal with. It can be fun in some scenarios, but letting RNG decide things tends to be more frustrating than it is fun or chaotic. Now, for Hikari's domain, it kind of makes sense because it's like he's a gambler. It plays into how the source material is. But for this, it doesn't really feel that great. It doesn't need to be a RNG percentage. It could have always been just like 4th hit or something like that. But I don't like RNG in fighting games. That's just my honest belief on this. Overall, this suggestion is a cool one that, while not getting added in anytime soon, absolutely, still feels pretty decent. I love the sketches the author did in this suggestion because they really help enhance the suggestion and make it easier to know what the author means, but I do have some problems with it conceptually, mostly of how the Awakening is so chock full of strong, close-ranged grab combo extender kind of moves that don't really feel like Awakening moves. The close-range combo moves just don't really work that well in terms of how they fit into an Awakening. Because in Awakenings, you need to be able to chase down the opponent. But if your Awakening moveset is so full of close-range moves, you can't do that. You're only going to be able to land those moves if you land an M1 or dash first. But the problem with that is most people are just going to be running away from you because they don't want to deal with your brokenly overpowered Awakening moveset. And it just doesn't meld well into an Awakening. That's the problem with it. It's just the overall, too many close-range moves in the Awakening. That's my problem with the Awakening, but other than that, the suggestion is pretty good. It has some creative ideas, especially in the base, and with the passives, which I think are a really interesting idea that could be implemented into the game, especially the counter gimmick, which sounds like a lot of fun to play with. Overall, this suggestion does get a 7 out of 10 for me, mostly because of just how much effort they put into doing the sketches of it. Anyways, if you enjoyed this yap today about a Yuji moveset that will never get created, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for even more commentary on Jujutsu Shenanigans. I'm Noob Eternally, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time in my next one. Have a good day. Bye.